Hello and welcome back to the international qualifiers. It is the China division, and we are here with TongFu WanZhou taking on Energy Pacemaker. It's going to be a deciding game for Energy Pacemaker because if they win this 2-0, they're through.
They're
Guaranteed.
through, and even if they tie 1-1, I still think they're in very good shape. Right now, they look like one of the clear top two teams, along with eHome in Group A.
Yeah, definitely. But WanZhou, you can't count them out. They've taken a game off eHome. They're doing decently. They were kind of an outlier in this group. You didn't expect them to do exceptionally well, but they're proving that they can take games off these teams. Getting a 2-0 is going to be difficult, though, for them.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for them as they have not been doing very well so far. They've only had draws so far.
Yeah.
So what they actually have happen is first game, they lose pretty fast, actually.
You'd rather lose a game and then win a game 2-0 than tie two games. It's
Yes.
better for you overall.
Yes, overall they have like 2 draws, 1 fast loss, and then a win in a longer game where they knew how to deal with the other team in the laning stage.
Now, the game that they won against eHome was the game where XingQ was on Queen of Pain, and he had the Aghanim Scepter Refresher Hex Queen of Pain. Ended the game by hexing, double ulting a Dazzle, and instantly blowing up, which was pretty impressive and takes a lot of items to make it happen. The other big player for me that stands out on that team is Zex Bingo.
Yeah.
Had an excellent clockwork in that match. I feel these are the two that are going to have to really bring their A game if they want to take down EP.
Yeah, they have to start by having at least solid lanes. They went for a Brood yesterday as well. Brood maybe not as common in terms of getting it through the ban and actually picking it at the right time, because normally it's kind of expected if it's a good draft against it. But one of those type of heroes that can really like break the game open or force the enemy team to respond, like Clockwork as well has the same kind of idea. That's the kind of heroes that they need to look towards.
Yeah, it's been kind of an eye-opener seeing how prioritized Clockwork has been. You don't really think about it, but there's so many Chinese teams with players that have Clock as a signature hero. Maybe you think of Kabu back in the old days. He was playing that recently, but there's a bunch of these teams. EP and WanZhou both have very good Clock players. You mentioned Zex Bingo.
I don't know his win rate, but I feel like it's got to be pretty good. We saw the last game, Clockwork definitely salvaged it with the Roche Jack, and I think, like you said, Zex Bingo definitely one of the top Clock players. I guess the big question for me this series is, we talked about Old Chicken. He has 3 wins on Shadow Fiend.
Yeah.
Do you want to ban that Shadow Fiend?
Out of the 4 wins they have. So.
Well, the question has been answered.
You do.
Okay, you
Actually,
do, yes.
pretty far along. First phase ban on the Shadow Fiend.
And Drow pick up Visage Bandit in the second phase.
Are we going to see a Spectre here? I don't know if you could do that against Drow, though. But,
you definitely can.
Well, you
Spectre's
can.
actually really good.
You can
against
like
Drow.
haunt in.
But it's more I'm looking at the lanes here. They've got
Yeah.
3 ranged heroes with the Drow. Of course, later on in the game, it is amazing.
I got that Ice Blast hookshot combo, and AA is 4-0 so far, but quite often he gets banned out in the second phase. A lot of Chinese teams prioritize him as their 5 support. He's great at stacking, pulling, zoning out offlaners. The natural offlaners, Bristleback and things like that, Tidehunter. AA does exceptionally well against with level 1 Chilling Touch.
That is true.
No, we mentioned Energy Pacemaker winning 3 games with Shadow Fiend for Old Chicken yesterday. The other games they won was a Wind Ranger for Old Chicken, so there you have that one as well.
Yeah,
Guess they just grab his hero first phase.
Yeah. Well,
Seems to be the case.
I guess the big... I shouldn't sound like a surprise, but Venge actually gets picked. This hero has just disappeared for the past couple of months.
I think a lot of it comes down to her short range. Like, she's still a great hero, but zoning is minimal from Venge in laning phase. Roaming is still good, but you need a partner for the Venge. So you don't really have the option of splitting her from the partner. And Earthshaker is still out there. It's kind of surprising that he's not been banned in the second phase and not been picked or prioritized either.
Bit of a global strand here for TongFu WanZhou. The Clock AA Beastmaster. Now, in a previous patch, I would have said maybe they're thinking Tinker, but
Yeah.
does Tinker work nowadays? I have
Yes.
not seen very much of him.
He does, but
you
no
can,
one plays it.
You can rearm the Guardian Greaves. That's pretty good.
First item Greaves on Tinker, no BOTs.
Mm-hmm.
I think Invoker here, maybe for YCYK. That's one of his signature heroes. He's done excellently on Invoker in the past. And when you've got Raw to set up for things like Sunstrike, Cogs, Ice Blast, everything works together quite nicely. But yeah, Send nice Abaddon. You like that hero?
Yeah, that's actually a really good pick here.
Well-
Oh, wow. Okay, David.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
No Spectre, though. This pretty
Good.
much means, I would think.
You might as well leave now. You don't get better than this.
You're done for the week.
I'm just getting warmed up. so
Oh, wow. All right, what's the last pick?
I don't know.
No pressure.
No, they'll need a support here to go with the AA. The Rubik gets banned. There's Lion out there. I don't really think they need the lockdown so much. Maybe Earthshaker.
Does that make them too melee heavy though with the ES? They've still got great long range initiation, but that seems like everyone has that initiation tool.
That's the
Fisher,
one thing-
Raw, Hookshot.
That's the one thing I do like about this draft on a different note is they have so much spam. They have Rocket, Ice Blast, Axes, March. this is what we were not seeing teams pick against Drow Ranger in some of the previous matches.
I actually think what Energy Pacemaker should pick, the best pick in the pool for me is actually Storm. But I don't think they'll get it because I believe Fan actually plays WanZhou too. So they could put Storm and Old Chicken in the mid lane. I think it would actually be really, really good here.
Fan also played 2 games of Storm yesterday, which they
he played Storm. Okay,
yes.
so they could definitely grab that. It's a great counter to Tinker. It's really good against AA and Clock. Like there's kind of the only lockdown they have that's reliable is Beastmaster.
And you have
Photic Shield.
You have Shield and Swap.
And Swap.
And potentially a Force Staff from Windranger.
And I think they picked the Venge as an answer to Clock because they were expecting that to come out. Like most teams are playing Clock like we talked about right now. It's a good way of dealing with when you get a key ally hooked. You swap them out. Even if your Venge dies, then you're probably in the center of the fight. The negative Vengeance Aura is going to be super annoying for the enemy team to deal with, and you keep your carry alive. So I actually really like this draft. Oh, there we go. Good, Ben. I think they wanted it. So now, whenever I'm looking at a Tinker, I'm looking at 2 solutions. Either you stomp the lanes, even if he's good at high ground defense, you have a team that can push and end the game. Or you have pick-off. You have heroes that are really good at ganking Tinker. And the
only 2 that are left that come to mind are Batrider and Nyx right now.
Nyx is pretty good. He's actually... he would be kind of nice. What else is there?
I'm actually
Clock is great against Tinker, but guess what?
How about a Dragon Knight? It's very...
Dragon Knight could work with Shadowblade first.
That's more of like more of the brute force option.
Yeah.
But the thing about Dragon Knight is the way you want to kill Tinker is if he's a really good Tinker player, he will always be in the tree line. And then your Shadowblade Dragon Knight actually can't find him. So that's why a hero like Storm is really good. The Flying Vision from Remnant, even after it got nerfed, is still fairly significant.
You could think about Nature's Prophet here. Throw him into the
Prophet
offlane.
is okay.
But he's only okay. I don't really feel like...
He's not optimal, but it's...
Storm would have been optimal because if you go Batrider, you're lacking more of like the lake. Like the thing is they don't have lockdown for Storm.
How about Spirit Breaker?
He's good too.
Decent.
He's really good with a Baton.
Yeah.
That's actually...
At the same time, they've got a lot of ways to interrupt the charge here, potentially. The cogs are great. Roar's great.
Batrider it is?
They do go Bat. I told you, Sins.
This draft is actually really crazy. There's like 5 heroes we haven't seen all tournament in the second phase. All of them.
Yeah.
Venge, Abaddon, Batrider, Beast, and Tinker. I haven't seen once on this stream.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Chinese teams have not been picking Beastmaster.
It's really cool. So what's the last unpicked hero going to be?
The question is, where does
support?
Where did Tinker and Beastmaster go? Because we've seen Beastmaster go mid. Do you put Tinker safe lane
Tinker
here?
safe lane, yeah. I think you do.
So they're looking for a secondary support.
Yes. I don't think you play Beastmaster or Clock support this game. I think it's suicide. Yeah. They want a lane support that owns AA or a Batrider. I don't think AA can do it on its own.
Yeah. Disruptor. They're good counter to the lasso here. You have the glimpse to somewhat deal with the initiation. Decent catch. Just kind of a well-rounded support pick, really.
A decent harass as well coming out in lane.
Everyone just starts sitting up straight.
Gollum, get you gone.
No slouching.
Yeah. There you go.
Posture, boys.
Yep.
So who do we favor? Which draft? Because obviously on paper it should be Energy Pacemakers, but to be honest, TongFu WanZhou.
I like the creativity. I'm not completely confident it's going to work, but I feel like they have good spam for the Drow push. They have a pretty good Tinker game. Sure, there's Batrider, but that's really it. That's their only catch for this hero. And he's going to have a lot of support. He's going to have the Hawk to scout, the Clockwork Rocket to scout. So it's not like he's running around the map blind. They should have vision in general on the bat. And I think they can slow down the push. They should have a decent laning stage. Tinker a pretty strong laner in general. Abaddon is not really a lane dominator. That's the one downside to this pick is it really takes the wind out of the sails. Like, let's just win all 3 lanes with Drow and win the game in 20 minutes. So
that's the thing. I feel EP need to win their lanes, right? They need to get that early momentum going. While WanZhou in the laning phase, the first 10 minutes, let's say, they have a little more room for error. Whereas EP, they need to get the ball rolling.
But they win the lanes every time. So I don't think that's... At least that's how it
just
seemed in the EP games.
That's what it looks like.
As a team, they just win the lanes, even almost regardless of draft. It does feel like.
They seem to win the lanes, and then their mid-game decision-making isn't so good. And that's what's kind of tricky for them, because I don't think they win this late game. Like, they... Or, well, let's see. What's the late game situation like? So Batrider is a really good late gamer. Venge is one of the best supports late game. They're playing a core Windranger, and the only core on the enemy team really is a Tinker. So maybe they could actually take it late, too, this time. They need to be really careful when it comes to the mid-game, though, that they don't get like split out and get picked off all the time. That's kind of the biggest threat is the moment Tinker forces heroes to split around the map with his split push, their lineup is super deadly. So ideally for EP, good lanes, try to timing push around minute 25 and see if they can end the game, but they're pushing into Tinker. It's not that easy.
Yeah, for Beastmaster, I mean, the pushing potential for TongFu, Beastmaster basically is it, in terms of taking down towers, split pushing maybe with a Necker Book. If they don't get a couple of towers in the early to mid game, they're gonna have a really tough time trying to go high ground later on. I feel.
Morphling eating the fish bones.
Yeah.
You aren't Shadow Demon.
That does not look comfortable.
That does not look like a morphling.
He looks like
Kill me now.
I remember that effigy. That's when it came out. Kill me. One of my favorites.
What's the matchup like at mid? Beastmaster, Windranger.
I think that's even.
I think it's pretty even.
Beastmaster is the buff to his base damage. Pretty ridiculous.
He's also he's got high base armor. He can take the Windranger auto attacks pretty well. The board can somewhat control the runes, zone the Windranger out, but at the same time, Windranger is a ranged hero versus melee.
He might just get a stout shield even.
Yeah. So you're probably going to see Windranger
But there is the Drow aura is the big X factor here. I think that tips it slightly in the Beastmaster's favor. Or against the Beastmaster, I should say. That's a cool pose.
It is. Which lane do you feel like he's gonna have first blood?
The Batrider lane.
Batrider's gonna die first? That's very
Glimpse into Chilling Touch.
Yeah, but there's not much help coming out from the Tinker.
They don't have the best killing potential on the
Yeah.
laning stage.
Neither team does really.
Well, I could see a rotation happening with maybe an Abandon and Avenge. Who knows? They can dive the tower with that. You can go
Level 1 Curse of Avernus. Let's go.
boots first.
It's good sometimes.
With the Frost Arrows?
I think killing the Clockwork's actually going to be super difficult for EP in that offlane.
No, you can Avenge and Abandon roam mid, kill Beastmaster.
Oh,
You
kill
got
the
a
beast.
Shield to take some tower damage to tank it up.
I think it's
That's
really
not
unlikely.
an easy kill.
It's a difficult kill. It's super unlikely because it gives Clock a lot of space in the start. I think they want to try to shut him down because he will really make life hard for the Drow in the mid game. Of course, they do have swap like we talked about, but the Aphotic Shield is not going to be that effective against the Clockwork. I think it's mainly good against the Roar. But I think the way TongFu want to take the fights in the mid game anyway, they don't want a team fight. They just want a skirmish. So shutting down the Clock is probably a really good approach. Just slowing him down a little bit. Congratulations, newbie. You won TI. So did Alliance. So did IG. And Navi.
I wonder what's gonna happen if they run out of space. Where's the next person? Where's the next team gonna go?
Are they ever going to update
Nah.
that
Nobody would be
blue
in the middle.
background?
No.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, they're going to update in exactly 30 hours.
It's posted on Reddit. It's going to get
30 hours and 22 minutes.
And change it to
15
purple.
seconds.
Change it to purple to annoy Reddit more. Everyone's been shouting to change the purple backdrop of Hero Picks to gold.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think
They're too busy polishing the Immortals, guys, okay? Relax.
Or working on
What
something
happens
it's
if
too.
really polished?
What happens if they release Immortal 3 before Immortal 2?
They should do that just to try.
Yeah.
You mean Immortal 2 Episode 2?
Yeah.
So, I actually wanted to, since we're paused anyway and we were looking at the Aegis, what do you guys think? Okay, so this is not really directly connected with the qualifiers, but with TI as a whole. A lot of people were skeptical about Newbie getting a direct invite. They've been looking pretty good lately from what I remember.
think it was
Yeah.
They beat Vici, they
deserved.
beat IG, I think, and they beat LGD or something like that. They at least beat two of those teams very recently.
I mean, who could you really argue was overlooked? Alliance had just changed their roster. You cannot invite them. Navi had just changed the roster, had not done much. You cannot invite them. Rave, to me, was the big question mark, but I think from Valve's point of view, they didn't feel SEA was that strong. They don't want to invite two SEA teams, and they chose Malaysia. I don't actually think there's anyone who was a clear invite, and therefore I think Newbie, you have to go with the defending champions.
yeah.
Even if their roster is somewhat different.
Yeah.
It was still 3 out of 5 players.
And they have been looking up lately. They maybe, like, previous results might not have been up to par purely because of lack of practice, which was the case. But right now they look pretty decent. Yeah.
Well, with that said,
Oh, they see them.
looks like we're going to hop into our game here. Shiver,
Yep.
who's your prediction?
My prediction is gonna be I'm still gonna go for Energy Pacemakers. They've just been looking so strong. I'm feeling like they're gonna take a 2-0.
All right. Well, I believe in the TongFu WanZhou draft, but maybe not their ability to execute it. So I'm going to reluctantly say I think EP is just the better team and take Shiver's side on this one.
Yeah, I agree. Like TongFu WanZhou, sure. Individual skill-wise, they've definitely drafted this because of that. It seems it's quite heavily skewed to individual skill rather than overall play. Maybe pairings of players together, but I think game number 1 EP.
All right. Everyone believes in Epeen.
Sind, you had to do it.
Yep, someone had to say it. I'm all about the dank memes.
Well, with that,
Sorry,
Sind, your
I got
prediction?
a death stare from LD. My day is perfect. Got him triggered. Yes. All right. There's a bounty rune for Wind Ranger. Nobody wants the other one. Beastmaster's like, I wonder if there's one on the other side of the river. Yep.
Oh, hey, this is mine.
You got it. All right. So we've got a Beastmaster level 1.5. We've got a Tinker level 1.5. They're facing. Oh, sorry, Wind Ranger. They're facing off in the mid. So pretty even split there.
He did go for Stout Shield.
He did get the stout. He's gonna get a fairly quick bottle here. He needs like 4 CS for that. And then no 5. Top lane disrupt. Wait. No, just clock. So
Yeah.
both teams are playing. No, there's a 2-1-2 from EP. They're playing Drow Venge. This is actually a lane where Clockwork should get quite a lot. Venge is short range. She actually can't attack him in the cogs, I think. And then the bottom lane, they're keeping Batrider safe this way. I think this is smart laning from EP.
Yeah, this means Bat doesn't get caught out at all, and Clockwork, like I said, he can get up in the face of one or the other, whether the Venger's pulling, he can get in there, leech experience. If Drow is having to tank up a wave, things can get pretty rough. I am not LD. I'm
Thank
Durka.
God.
What? Cinder's on a roll today with the flames.
Yep.
So a pretty defensive lane down a bot for the Batrider, but he's always going to secure these last hits. Once he gets Tranquils, you know, he could head into the jungle if he feels a little bit threatened, but jungling with Batrider nowadays, it's nowhere near as good as it was before. With the reduced bounty on neutral creeps, it still takes a little bit longer for him to get that, you know, really fast blink dagger.
Yeah, the jungle will be fully accessible, though. They haven't blocked anything. I'm guessing Venge will focus quite a bit on stacking. As far as farm exchanges go, probably... I guess this Tinker should actually be getting almost free farm. I don't really see them contesting him much, so this should be a fairly quick Boots of Travel into Blink. That's the standard build. Probably Boots of Travel, if he wants to get it at the very first. I think he wants Bottle or Soul Ring, or maybe even both, before the Boots.
Yeah, Soul Ring on the level 6 rearm because he'll have the jungle to himself. There's no one really that goes and takes the jungle, no Shadow Fiend or anything like that. It's the same over on the Dire. Batrider is the one hero that will go into the jungle. Drow is not going to feel threatened enough to, you know, think, oh, I'm going to leave my lane, got to go and farm the jungle, so she should be fine up at top. But it's not going to be crowded for either side.
No one's focusing on stacking at all yet. I feel like TongFu are kind of wasting their time here by just standing 2 heroes. They're not really aggressing. Both the Disruptor and AA essentially just leeching a bit of experience when one of them could probably just go and stack the jungle. I think stacking with AA here and just keeping Disruptor in the lane is going to keep Tinker safe. They can't go on him. They can always just glimpse away the bat when he tries to dive, and there is no counterplay. So
Wind Ranger's
need to
having a
up the
good
efficiency a little bit.
Yeah, Wind Ranger's having a good time at mid though, 12-6. The Beastmaster 7-3, pushing up hard though onto Old Chicken. A few right clicks in here, but he doesn't have a board to slow him down. Windrun always available, but Old Chicken's now, you know, behind his tower with. Does Old Chicken have his bottle right now on the way on the courier?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, this is looking good for EP in the start in the laning phase, as expected. They just seem to always get the better CS. So in terms of just raw mechanical skill and timing in the lanes, this is not an uncommon sight for this qualifier.
The ability to contest that pull spot as well. Didn't really think about that. The Batrider obviously can do it over on the Dire side, just get into the jungle pretty easily, but with the Abaddon there, just impunity. He's not afraid of anything.
And Tinker isn't the best at fighting this right now, and he doesn't want to move away from the lane, so they're going to get quite a bit out of this. The Batrider's sitting on 10 CS already in the off lane, which he definitely would not have had alone. He can just kind of play like he wants because of the Abaddon.
Clock getting wrapped around on. Venge thinking about it. Back and forth a little bit here. LT in the fog. Perfect placement. Just waiting in the wings as the pull through has happened. Clockwork gets it across into that large camp, and now is that spotted out? Yeah, he sees her. Looking down the ramp. Hey, Venge, how you doing? Oh, bot lane. Tinker's caught actually here, but oh, the Batrider losing his HP at a drastic rate. The Mistcall comes out. Bat, small to Thunder. Where's the lightning as the glimpse does drag back the Abaddon? Aphotic shield onto him. Jinkyu, what have you got left? Your laser's gone. Do you have rockets? Pretty sure he's gone for the March build, and there's no one going to fall on this bottom lane.
They were really close to getting the AA, I think, or to getting the bat. I think AA might have actually cancelled an attack by mistake there with the Chilling Touch on, underestimating how long time it took him to throw out the last shot they would have needed, but regardless, yeah, very close call. Of course, TongFu's lane, triple ranged with Chilling Touch, does deal a lot of damage to the Batrider. He needs to not underestimate that, but he got out alive. I think he actually stays in the lane. I guess he got salved by the Abaddon, or he just ate like 3 tangos, and he's going to be just fine for now.
Is that a sentry over at the Radiant Large Camp west side? So they've blocked that up as an observer, actually. So blocking up so the Beastmaster can't stack with boars and things like that. That would be a good way to catch up with Wind Ranger. He's not that far behind, but still, it's a great way. Yeah, look, he's sending the boar over, and it's like, hang on a second. There's nothing here for me to do.
Yeah, I guess the worst thing is actually if he tries to counter ward now, because he's going to do it so late that it's kind of a waste of a sentry. It's about that ward I think has 1 minute left on it, so the camp's gonna spawn again at 7, and this one is actually blocking too.
No. Just out of range. Yeah, look at the pings. They know where it is. So Xinkyu going for the Soul Ring straight up. Let's max out that march and clear through camps. Going to see Thunder Strike, Aphotic Shield. Batrider in this lane is unkillable.
I think TongFu aren't really getting enough out of their safe lane. The problem with the support duo is that rotating to gank is very difficult. Disruptor and AA really not their best ganking duo. Disruptor might have a shot at the top lane, or okay, it's actually Beastmaster will go up there.
And another Disruptor's coming up here. Level 6 Invis Beastmaster looking for the go with the roars. X-Bingo's not really got too much mana though. They're just going to try and go in behind. Fan caught, roar there. Cogs, Battery Assault going to throw something. The Rocket Flare to do a tiny bit of damage, but in comes Lur, the Abaddon, Aphotic Shield, a Mistcoil, and again Fan escapes with a tiny bit of HP, turns back with the Frost Arrows, and Beastmaster drops. Sayaka, what's your escape route? Because the Wind Ranger, Shackle Shot, and early level and Focus Fire. Well, looked like maybe, a quick and easy one over on the Drow Ranger. Turns out to be a great reaction for EP.
This was an instant TP from Abaddon, and he actually needed to port that fast. A lot of the time when you see defensive TPs, is like, okay, the enemy team starts diving, you're like, okay, now I need to TP in. He actually had to come in, like, pretty much right after the Roar was cast to even be there on time. He gets off the Mist Coil first, buys him enough time to get in with the Aphotic Shield. Very, very nice play by Energy Pacemaker.
And not only that, but Batrider gets Banter in a bot, gets a little bit of free time down there. They moved so much from these lanes that WanZhou have given up quite a lot. 1,600 on that Batrider.
He's going to get a blink minute 8. He can actually just do 2 camps in the jungle now with Firefly, and he's got it. I think this one... Okay, none of them are stacked. He can stack both, I think, if he does it right. So he does...
It's late now.
I think it's possible to pull that big one he just pulled now, and then go to the left, and then Sticky Napalm for a little bit of vision, and then attack one of those, and then run up, I think. Or you can Firefly, but then you've used Firefly, and you kind of don't want to do that right before you farm it. I'm not sure if you can do the Napalm stack, but I think you can.
This is going to put him on about 2,000, so it's still looking pretty good as the push comes up on top. Catapult Wave, Fan, and LT. There's not much defense. Batrider dropping low in the jungle. The creeps wailing away at that little guy. Beastmaster, though, half HP at mid lane.
Oh, they got a tower, too. That's actually... He has his blink now, I think. Or he's like
50 gold off or something like that.
He's going to get it just from passive gold here, just running back to base and running to bot lane. He'll have it. Or he buys a TP.
So what's the big target for you? Tinker? Stop him from farming the jungle? Get in there? Because Clockwork is still going to be rough, and it's not as valuable a kill. But then, do you actually value moving all of your heroes down to bot lane to try?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Do the damage to the Tinker.
They can't kill the Tinker until they move either the Venge or the Wind Ranger or both, and they're definitely not moving the Drow. So, I think he's just going to focus on winning the top lane for the Drow. Maybe the Wind Ranger gets some help mid as well. Oh, this could actually be dangerous. Oh, he used Wind Run really early. No Roar.
There's no follow through.
He got a Roar at the Courier.
I think I don't know. Just throw it out there.
He could have actually tried. I don't know.
I think the big thing for me is that Tier 1 top has fallen already. If they do go for the kill on Tinker and transfer all of their, 2 or 3 of their heroes there with the Batrider, they can take Tier 1 bot, limit Tinker's room to farm, and maybe take some stacks in the jungle, because they have been stacked a couple of times here for that Tinker. Yeah, they're doing it now, over on the right-hand side, or they're trying. He's actually clearing through them, so it's a little bit too late for that.
He's really, really, really low on health, though, so...
Zeus ult.
It looks like he wants to get the travels before Soul Ring.
Okay.
Oh, this timing is actually perfect. Oh my god, that is...
Oh, Tinker, do you go for this last hit? They see the Centaur, they know he's there. Bat? Oh. Go for it! He's smoked up. You're going to blink forward now, Lasso. Ready? Then
Wait, he gave up on that?
They saw the Centaur.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised he didn't just try to go for that. Well, they're going to get another kill instead. This is an easy kill in the...
DDR.
Yeah.
You're not far enough under the tower. The damage from the Wind Ranger, and this is definitely going to be a Tier 1 at the very least.
Yeah, so ideally they get the Tinker there, and then they rotate and kill the AA as well. I think he had no CP, so he wouldn't have got out when the Tinker got ganked. So this would have definitely been 2 kills, but they still get... The most important thing out of all of this is the tower. Tinker will be getting his travels very soon, but I think EP have won the laning stage enough. I feel like they've got to be pretty far ahead already. Like, the goal should be even more than this. Yeah, it's 3,000. in 9 minutes. They're 3 kills to 0. They're going to defend this mid-tier 1, I think, fairly easily. And now it's up to Bat to keep getting them towers. He does that by just finding one key pick off, and then they just turn it into a tower push. This is not an easy game to be a Hawk in, I think. Power Shot, Wave of Terror, Firefly. It's pretty annoying.
Where do you hide the Hawk? So now Tinker has Boots of Travel. He can move around the map, but their warding for Radiant not so great if he's actually pushing out these lanes. They've got quite defensive warding, so jungle and bot lane is going to be the only really place he can go to.
And that's scary too against the Bat Rider.
And look at the dire wards, complete like polar opposite. They've got aggressive ward on the lane at top, deep wards in the jungle. They're putting sentries down to block all the camps as well.
Tinker actually can't really play the game right now. They have to find a way of opening up the map for him. Generally, at this point in time, you haven't lost your tier 1 tower, or at least you found some sort of trade on the map with the Beastmaster, but they haven't been successful, so he's going to resort to just pushing out mid lane a little bit here with the rockets, and then, I guess, March. And
middle tier 1, the last bastion of hope. How long until AA hits level 6, though? Because maybe then they look for the moving around, sort of a 3 or 4 man rotation, give the Tinker a little bit of space to get into the Blink Dagger. Hook Shot, Ice Blast,
yeah,
Roar.
I want to see the Clockwork start doing something. He's just been
level
farming.
8. He's got treads, not looking too bad, but making an impact is a big thing here for WanZhou. Tinker.
I don't think he wants to jump this Drow. There's obviously the threat of an Abaddon porting in, or Avenge with a swap. He's actually just going to run up there. Yeah, this is good by Tinker to farm the enemy jungle. He gets some safety from the Hawk. So if you can't farm your own jungle, at least there's 2 of them on the map. But that's all he's going to get. He's going to get that left camp and a little bit of the middle one, but he can't go far into the enemy jungle, and he's going to get ganked easily by Bat Rider.
Well, there's AA hitting level 6. Maybe we'll actually start to see some action happen here from the Clockwork. Roar is available for that Beastmaster as well. They've got the full arsenal there, minus the Storm from Disruptor. But EP, how are they positioned? They're spread pretty thin across the map. Hawk is scouting out the mid-tier 1. And LT up in the creep wave, but smoke around. Looking for the, top lane? Tinker. He should be able to TP out here if he goes now. No, he's going to get caught. Bat Rider blinks in. Last order to him. The TP cancelled out. Shackle Shot will latch and Focus Fire. Gives him the kill onto Jin Q. Fan just walks in and says, yeah, I'll take this experience. The Ice Blast is going to be off the mark on the Drow Ranger, but still hits the other 2 on their retreat.
Oh, this is Abaddon is actually dropping low. Interesting, he didn't skill his ult on level 6. He is prioritizing the full support route like this. For now, that's going to work. And especially the surprise factor also playing in a lot. Like, you don't want to try to go on an Abaddon on level 6 because you're like, well, he has ult anyway. But, well, what if you don't? They're not going to try anyway. And, well, does he? If he wants to, he could kill himself right now with a Miscoil.
Let's see. Sort of holding spells, thinking, well, if we use it now, it's just going to pop ult, and not really worth it.
All right, he's going to...
Self-sacrificing.
There goes the tower. More or less. AA ult. Oh, that's a good shackle, but I don't know if they can go for this kill.
Tinker comes in. They've got the power shot. Glimpse back into the cogs. Kinetic Field is dropped in the Roar. Disruptor's already dead, though, as the Drow tries to turn a fight, but Tinker comes in. March spammed out. Rockets. Fan dropping low. They've got the TP back in, and Tinker should be able to find this with a secondary rocket. Rearms up and throws them out. La on the back end, TPing out with, 30 HP. That's a really good trade for TongFu WanZhou. Defending their tier 2.
Oh my... What? That
just nullifies the lead that EP had, right?
Not quite, but that's still crazy. I did not think that was going to be worth 3,000 gold. That's insane. That felt like a 6.83 gold gain to me.
Big swing.
Well, there were a lot of heroes involved. I guess just the proportional amounts that they had there were...
Midas Clockwork. No Force Staff, Blade Mail, or anything like that?
Not a fan.
Necro over on that Beastmaster. Now, over on EP, they've got a pretty damn good side at taking Roshan early on if they smoke into there. But on the flip side, Rocket Flare, Hawk, Tinker TPing in. There's so many good ways to react.
But if they see Clock has the Midas, the fighting potential of TongFu is really not that strong.
Back.
Okay.
What's the follow-up here? Oh, it's Wind Ranger with a Focus Fire. Now Miscoil, a couple more hits. LT will find that Medallion.
Should have bought a Force Staff. What can I say?
And there we go, into Roshan without the Clockwork. It's going to be pretty rough here to try and contest this. Ice Blast, but it's going to annoy the Vengeful Spirit with the minus armor, the Medallion. They'll be able to rip through this, no problem. Tinker, where's he hiding right now? Is he back in base, TPing towards mid lane? The Hawk in the trees. As Jin Q looks to push out this mid.
So they get the Roche for free, including a Clockwork kill. So I think I get the thought process behind the Midas. It is, okay, we have a Tinker as our only real core. I might need to get really farmed so that we can actually manage a mid-game, but it's just the... Now they might even struggle to get to a good mid-game. If Clockwork... He's literally just a hook right now. His net worth is not representative because the attack speed from this is almost useless on the hero. So his current net worth is about 2.7k. Plus the Midas, which is going to level him up, and it's going to be useful in like 5 to 10 minutes with the level 11 he gets at that point. But
yeah, it's skewed pretty hard. So even though it looks like he's 500 gold behind the bat has Blink Force.
Yeah.
So he's got
the bat
massive
is way
initiation.
more useful right now. He could have bought a Force Staff. He could have bought a Blade Mill if he wanted to take that route.
These Dire Observers just keep on giving. A lot of them focused on, where Tinker may be TPing to and just watching for people sitting behind the Tinker, I feel, is more important as well. Disruptor and maybe the Clockwork. But AA... Clockwork gonna find that Observer Ward. Radiant Sentry, is that? Oh, it's up on the cliff. They can't get up to it.
Can he?
TongFu, come on, the Hawk's there. You've got to right-click it down. Small Tooth Thunder will get hit by a couple of rockets. Fireflies away.
It's a power shot. Not really finding anything. They're gonna counter ward too, so I guess that favors TongFu a little bit. They get some control back over their own jungle. And, well...
And Blink is 200 away for that Tinker.
Yeah, he's still not going to be safe against the Batrider, but it's definitely... It's the way to go. And you've got to have the concern for EP that how do they end the game? At some point, they're going to be looking to push, and they'll be pushing into March, into AA ult, into Rocket, Glimpse, and Wild Axes, and even the threat of a Roar, which I guess Beastmaster will be itemizing after the Necro book. I would assume he's going to get a Blink Dagger at that point, so...
Oh, good hook shot. Finds old chicken. He does Force Staff over those. The Wind Ranger glimpsed back behind the cogs. Kinetic Field will trap him in place, and the Ice Blast good. Roar now onto LT. The Avenger gonna drop shortly after, and Small Tooth Thunder. Time to get the hell out of here.
That's a tower too, I think. There are 4 heroes down here. Tinker can always join. They have the Necro book used.
We saw how scared the Drow and Abaddon were, hiding behind their tier 2 at top. I don't know if they wanted to smoke up and go somewhere, or if they're just scared of maybe the smoke through between the 2 towers at top.
Yeah, this tower is gone.
Now, Drow Ranger we saw.
They're trying to trade. That's okay, I guess. They're... Considering the circumstances, EP, I think they get the more valuable tower. The bottom tier 1 for Radiant is not really that good. It doesn't provide any crucial access points. It allows them to go in and maybe ward behind the Ancients, which can be nice, but the mid-tier 1 tower for the Radiant easily more important. Now they have this avenue of getting to the Radiant Ancients. They can get in and ward at the small camp there, and maybe even smoke gank through that avenue, which is a lot easier sometime than going across the river up into the...
There's the Midas paying off. 2 level advantage. Well, sort of level and a half advantage over the Batrider. But yeah.
Could also be the gank he just got. Who knows?
It's everything. Abaddon 0, 0, and 3.
This Midas, so good.
You flamed it.
Oh, he's getting quite a bit of gold now, obviously, because they did get that successful fight, and if that fight hadn't happened and he wouldn't have got all of that out of it, and EP would have taken a good fight out, like this could have been the other way around. Like, and him lacking a utility item could have ultimately resulted in a very different curve than the one we see here. But they found the right opening, and ultimately, on Clockwork, the most important thing is that you're in the right place at the right time. And then, even with a Hand of Midas, you can be very, very useful just then. So, yeah, maybe it's gonna pay off here. Almost Necro 3 on Beast.
Oh wow, that's pretty damn good.
Minute 18. This is a decent timing. 72 CS. He's 2-1-1.
Sanjin Yasha over on the Drow Ranger. We didn't see the Mask of Manus, which is, expected against all of the burst and spam like LD was mentioning earlier. But going for the S and Y, sometimes, you see the Yasha into BKB, just have the sort of value Yasha for attack, movement speed, and farming efficiency, but not valuing BKB here. I guess it's still very early on. You want a full duration BKB once, 25, 30 minutes into the game. That surprise, hey look, you can't really touch me.
Yeah, if they're taking the farming route, this is probably better for now. If they were looking to siege towers very soon, I think BKB would have definitely been a better choice. It's the best way of counterplaying the Tinker. It's generally the best item against the Tinker. It's great against Disruptor. Sure, you can get roared, but they can remove that with a Photic Shield. He needs to be careful he doesn't pop his ult here.
It wouldn't be too bad. Abaddon, earn Arcane Boots. What kind of build do you expect after this? Because he's quite an unusual hero with item builds in particular. So like a Force Staff obviously is going to be great up against the Clockwork, things like that. Save your teammates, save yourself, but it takes a while to build up into for a 5-roll Abaddon.
You could go for Vlad's as well. It's actually a more expensive item than Force Staff now with the change, but it's an easy build up. The most expensive item is Morbid Mask, and everything else in it is pretty cheap. So that would be a potential choice. They get so much damage from having the Vlad's aura and the Drow aura together. Alternatively, like you said, Force Staff can be good. He could try for a mech. I don't think he can afford it, though. Well, then he can't afford a Vlad's either, so what kind of argument is that? So, what's the best? Mech isn't that good against AA, depending on the way they fight.
Yeah.
Like, it's difficult.
The thing is with EP, if you look, like, sort of think about how they'll set up their fights. Dry Ranger and Wind Ranger are sort of near the front, but then they're going to have 3 heroes offset from that. So having a 5-man Ice Blast is going to be relatively difficult. Venge will be in the wings. Abaddon,
you got
her.
There we go. That's what we were talking about.
Okay.
It's actually probably the best item they can get right now if they can put it to use. Like removing map control from the Beastmaster team is always very important.
So much focus has been on warding here from EP anyway. The walls look out for Tinker and things like that. Constantly put out there.
Cloak on Venge. I don't know if she wants to turn that into anything or if it's just casual. I guess Glimmer Cape would actually be another nice item for Abaddon. He does have the mana pool for it with the Arcane Boots. I actually think out of all the suggestions we've talked about, I think Glimmer Cape is actually the best choice in this game.
Glimmer Cape has kind of become the replacement of Force Staff in the majority
some
of
games.
Yeah.
Last game we had 4 Force Staffs.
Against the Clockwork.
Yeah.
I was going to say, unless you're against a Clockwork, where Force Staff is infinitely more useful.
But there's quite a bit of merit to getting Glimmer Cape against Tinker. Even when you're against a Clockwork, it's a lot of the time Tinker will try to jump in and just burst a target, and his cast times aren't like ridiculously short, so you can actually counterplay it with Glimmer. Speaking of Glimmer, AA almost has one now.
They're going to move to defend their tier 2. Do they know they're all up on the ramp? Because Jinkyu blinks back. Sayaka going to get caught here. The Shackle Shot will launch from Creep to Hero. Dragged back into the tower. Now, what's the reaction? Good Gust. Stopping the roar, but Hookshot catches 2 in the cogs. Bat, where is your plan? You can't blink. You can't jump. Roar goes out now as EP lose the Drow. In exchange for that Disruptor, as LT is on his way out of here. YCYK now shackled up again. Old Chicken with a play. Jinkyu looking for the big one, though. March across. And it looks like it's going to be a 3 for 2 as EP are on the retreat.
It's a really good hook shot.
No objective here gained, but killing the Drow Ranger here when she needs to keep the momentum going, it's a massive deal and a whole bunch of levels for your heroes.
They got 1,000 gold, they got a 1,500 experience swing, and what was I going to say? The hook shot is really what set that up. He got in very nicely, got the 2 hero cog. Abaddon was caught in a little bit of a weird spot, and even though Beastmaster dies, he got all his spells off, and he has the Necro book, so he's not really the hero you want to kill early. If you can find a better target, like the priority kill is probably Tinker if you can manage, so he doesn't get to do a lot of damage from the backline. Oh, wait a second, he's gonna get glimpsed. He's in a lot of trouble.
Oh,
wait,
forces out of the kinetic field. Take on for the Tinker. Everything thrown his way, but that fight was Energy Pacemaker sort of basically being in a conga line walking towards their tier 2. They weren't set up, they weren't prepared for a 5v5. They then tried to get into position, but everything sort of rotated the wrong way. TongFu WanZhou were up on the high ground, they knew where they were coming from, they got the vision, the Hawk was ready, and things just didn't go EP's way. Roshan, when do you respawn, buddy? Very, very quickly.
That's a really fast respawn. I think this actually favors EP. They might have a shot at just pushing out the bottom lane and getting in for the Roche very soon. They are, however, all at top, and this, well, the Hawk might have scouted it out. I feel like TongFu have a pretty bad line of killing Roche, though, so I don't think they're actually even going to try for it. But if this siege fails, if they somehow lose a couple of heroes here, it's probably going to cost them a Roche, too, so they need to be really, really careful. EP might just try to dodge, though, but that's, well, they might not feel like they're in a position to hold this tower. Maybe they aren't, actually.
Zex Bingo on the front lines. Good hookshot again onto 2. Old Chicken caught with Small Tooth Thunder. The Force Staff's out though. Ice Blast not going to clip anybody. But Tinker teeping onto the Hawk. Rocket spam out. They've caught YCYK. The Shackle Shot and Lasso though overlapping. Not chained perfectly. And now YCYK is actually caught on the wrong side of the kinetic field. Zex Bingo on the retreat. 1 for 0 as Fan. Hasted Clockwork. Lucky there for him.
This is actually Roche, I think, if they do it right. Beastmaster's out for 35, or they force his buyback. If they go down there very quickly and use their medallion and the focus fire and everything, I believe he will have focus fire in like 10 or 15 seconds, probably.
They don't know it's up, though.
Oh, 30 seconds, actually. Okay, maybe they can't do it then. This is a bit too long of a cooldown.
Limited mana over in the dire. Batrider now scouts it out, so then Roshan's there.
I think
The timing window is pretty tight, and Rocket Flare flying across. Okay, they know they're not doing it, so Beastmaster's going to hold on to their buyback. Not going to rush anything just now. BKB being built up by the Bat. Up against all this magic nuke spam. Lincolns, oh.
Good counter to Roar, good counter to Tinker.
Glimpse as well.
Glimpse, you will at least be able to block a Dagon or a Laser, if we're talking Tinker. It's a decent item. I have a feeling he wants to put it on Drow more than keep it on himself. We'll see, this Rocket does spot out the 3, but not the Bat. This could actually work out very well for EP if he stuck around there, because the other heroes, they don't know what's going on.
Invis about to wear off, and the smoke through. He blinks across, but EP...
If only he knew where they were. He could have easily broken that smoke and got out.
Oh, yeah, go back, hiding behind their tier 2. As WanZhou still smoked up, expecting EP to be, moving towards Roshan at this moment in time. They can't, right? They can't go in there and take it.
No. Well, yes, but they need a lot of time to do this with a Beastmaster. If he's not using the book for it, it's the book they need to kill the Roche.
Sit in the pit and wait. Oh, they're going to go for this, but response here from EP. Meander their way down. Batrider, Firefly over, going to catch the Tinker here. Lassos him up, and the Wave of Terror flying across. Jinkyu is caught. It's a good hook shot, but the Static Storm is not going to do too much here. Tinker buys back. Is going to return straight into this fight. Can't get in there.
Oh,
with the
Roar on the Lincolns!
Roar! YCYK not getting the most out of that spell, so now a 2-for-1 as EP are holding high ground. They've got the strategical advantage here, and there's no real way for WanZhou. Sayaka, the Flame Break cancels out his TP, and Jinkyu, his buyback, going to be a dieback. WanZhou losing hero after hero, and like you said, a lost fight here. Roshan for EP, even though there are 3 heroes down. Fan with lifesteal, no, still not going to go in there.
I actually think they might be able to do this with the Venge alive. They might be a little bit hesitant. They don't know exactly when Hookshot is up again, and
that's true.
There's a little bit of a risk. There's also the AA ult they need to consider, then the lifesteal won't work. I think it's just going to leech up from these Ancients, and then... Alright, he's actually going top. A little bit surprised. I think they could have tried for this, all in all. With a Baton alive, with Venge alive. But they're playing it safe. I think they gained about 3k from that fight. Drow overtook Tinker, who was actually 2k ahead of her, but the dieback, as well as Drow getting a kill or 2 there, is really... It's a big swing. Love that Clock got the Force Staff, by the way. So he did get the item I thought he should. He went for the Midas build-up first, though. And if you look at the actual, like his inventory right now, I want to say the Midas still hasn't really paid for itself. I think it would have had these items anyway.
Yeah,
if he didn't get Midas, Force Staff and Point Booster, and he would have had 1 level less. But level 12 for Clock is not that crucial of a level, so...
Well, into Roche they go. The Rocket Flare instantly scouts them out, but the Minus Armor...
Yeah, this is gone.
So no TongFu WanZhou. They got 2 heroes mid. The Ice Blasting to come in. Tinker actually pretty ballsy there. Baits out the Bat Blink, and now the Roar onto Small 2 Thunder, but he's up on the cliff. The Fog hiding him. Fan turns back to fight the Clockworker who hooked in. Sends a Batrider up onto the cliff. But Clock has killed off the Venge. Bat still caught. Zexbingo with a DD. Doesn't really matter when you've got Fan chasing you down with Frost Arrows. Glimpse back to the same position.
Oh, that's actually really important. Tinker has no way of getting back into the fight now. They killed both Necro units. There's no Hawk.
And that's a go to the Creep Wave over there. Throws the rockets out. Aegis Immortal is still there. Bat going up onto the high ground as YCYK. There's the last. So they found the Tinker again. Fan has the damage. Good gust onto the Beastmaster. And Jinkyu once again falls. Ice Blast not going to hit any enemy targets. But Old Chicken, your Wind Ranger, actually sort of dancing with the Beastmaster there. Back and forth. He blocks himself out. The boar spawns in front of him, his one route of escape. Foiled by his little pet.
I guess fortunately for him, he probably would have died anyway. Else he would have been punching himself in the face right now over the boar spawn. But yeah, another good fight for EP. They got Roche. Wow, look at this roller coaster. They kind of gave it back to TongFu a little bit, and now back where I don't want to say where we started, but we're back to 5 minutes ago in terms of lead, more or less. And This time I have a feeling they're going to hold it better. They have level 16 on Drow. It really makes their lineup. This is 62 base damage on every single hero, or every single ranged hero, rather. So everyone else in Abaddon hits really hard. They have the Aegis now to play around with. And it just seems like the Tinker of XinQ is actually making no progress.
Yep.
He's got... What's the Dagon? Is it Dagon? Dagon 3 at minute 29 is really not that good. For 200 CS, this is not that big of an inventory. He's died 4 times. He bought back once, I want to say. Maybe twice? No, once.
He's TPing in sort of ahead of his team. Throwing out rockets, and his positioning has been okay, but the spells from TongFu WanZhou come out initially, at the start of the fight. The roar, the hookshot, everything just gets blown instantly. Then the Tinker's sort of standing there thinking, hang on, I'm the main source of damage here. If I get lassoed or if I get gusted, Beastmaster, like the gusts have been great from Fan on this Drow Ranger. Beastmaster has had an awful situation trying to get these roars out. The first Lincolns, that got popped by the roar, but still the gust are always being focused on that Beastmaster.
They're going to try to spread the map here a little bit. Tinker porting top. They've got to apply some pressure globally so that they can start playing the game their way instead of EP's way, which they've been focusing quite a lot on these 5-on-5 engagements where I think TongFu are better suited to play a little bit more skirmish, but EP are now in a position where they can force the team fights by just going 5 heroes down the lane. They push way faster than TongFu, and at the very least, what TongFu can do is they can push out the lanes before this fight happens so that EP won't get more than a tier 2.
And look at their spread. This is what I was talking about.
Ridiculous.
Wind Ranger and Drow on the front, Abaddon, Venge, and Bat Rider nowhere near each other. So hitting an Ice Blast there, maybe they can, solo someone down with a Clockwork and then roar another, but all of this single target, you have to choose different targets. You can't go bam, bam, bam onto one guy because you don't really have the damage to follow up on it.
Oh, and you can always just swap our Aphotic Shield,
Yep.
so it's very difficult for TongFu to take these team fights right now. We almost got a Scotty, by the way, on the Drow. It's very, very close to a full Scotty here. I think he's got another few hundred gold to go, or maybe not even. I don't know if he has it. Okay, so another 400 from after this column, and
Lots of stat points.
okay, he's just gonna buy it. He sold something. He is really, really farmed. 3,000 health. That's what you get when you get Sanjin Yasha for strength, BKB for strength, treads, and a Scotty. It's actually a really good item here on the Drow. You want to just tank up and not be able to be burst down by the Tinker.
Yeah. So with Medallion and Wave of Terror, he's doing close to 400 damage, or maybe even more per hit on the Drow.
Yeah, I think so. What's this? Oh, wow, that was really close. Tinker needs to be very, very careful. So he's got 325 without Vanjora, which is a good 30-something%, right? 36, I think. Oh, he's only got level 3, so yeah. We're close to 400.
Now safeguarding their own jungle. Tinker, where do you go? Into his own. Pushes out the bot lane, looking to sort that out. But 4 heroes from WanZhou here, and this is the issue. There's no one really that can go and farm efficiently. They can't spread thin. All of their team fight comes in one big burst. Roshan, he has quite a while until he respawns back up. Aegis Immortal goes in, 20 seconds? 15 seconds, something like that. So EP, they have to be wary of this timer. But
I don't think Drow can die.
Yeah.
That's actually the problem. Even without the Aegis, they're going to be in a situation where they're forced to go on the Drow. The best possible play TongFu can make is to force staff Drow into their own base, so use it aggressively. They might just be able to hold with March for now and just buy time, but this is not... They're not really buying time for themselves only. They're also buying time for EP, who are scaling probably just as well as they are, if not even better, and are controlling the map better as well. So it's like they kind of have to turtle, but they don't want to. So
another fast
really
spawn on Roshan.
Yep.
30 seconds after the 3-minute mark.
And EP are going to get this Roche for sure.
Yeah.
They just need to find out that it's spawned, then they can just go and snipe it.
Glimmer Cape is nearly done for the Venge if she wants it. And we're seeing Tinker Wards getting thrown out all across the map. There's one over on the west side, but do you try and focus on this Tinker too much? Or do you just want to try and group up into one area, control the enemy jungle, and make sure the Tinker only has one place to go? Because he likes going to one lane, TPing back to another, TP back, and try and keep all of the lanes, or at least 2 of the lanes pushed out, so there's another lane for the rest of your team to go. Oh,
whoa. Okay. Oh my god. Those are Manta illusions. I think. Oh, just, no, regular illusions. No Manta illusions. He doesn't have Manta yet, I think. But, wow. Now, well, if he had a Manta, he would have farmed it in 30 seconds, so that's quite impressive.
So, next selected for Tinker, Ghost Scepter, right?
Yeah, I think he needs it. He has to get a Ghost Scepter against this right click. Alternatively, he can really try to play in position and just maybe get either Shivas or he's actually going to get a Bloodstone. I really don't think that's the item right now. He wants to try to become relevant and get a Bloodstone here so he can maybe rack up some kills.
Spam rockets.
Just spam out defense, but I don't think this is going to cut it. He is close to it, though, of course, with the build-up from Soul Ring.
Yeah.
But he might want to buy another Soul Ring after that. It's just such an essential item on Tinker to have that you often see Tinkers get both Soul Ring and Bloodstone when they go for that build.
Yeah, you rebuy the Soul Ring.
Yeah. So he's probably going to have to do that. Defensive ward here. Or was that a dire ward? I didn't actually see. It's a Radiant ward.
Wow.
Yeah, they've protected outside their base there for 5 minutes with that ward. That really goes to show how cornered they are. When you ward right outside your base like that, they're doing the same in the top lane. They have like no space on the map at all. Oh, that's a sentry. Great. Okay.
Even though there's a gem on,
Can't see it
on the Abaddon. And that ward's still not counted out? Oh, it's on the Bat Rider now. Okay.
Yeah.
So swap that over top lane. Xin-Q is in the trees. Will TP himself away. But Old Chicken just looking to try and force this back. Don't give them any room to maneuver. TongFu, WanZhou. Where are we sitting for this Beastmaster? What did he get after the Necro 3? Is he looking towards a Blink Dagger? Boost of Travel actually went for. So
I think he's getting... It's actually hard for him to itemize in this game. In one way, he really wants the Blink, but at the same time, a Refresher could probably be necessary for them to actually have enough output of damage in the fight and enough control. Like, I wouldn't disagree if he gets Refresher here, but I do think it's going to be a Blink. Yeah, I don't. It just feels like that won't make a difference. Actually, it's going to be almost completely irrelevant in this game. Whoever he roars, there's just swap Aphotic Shield or Glimmer Cape, and then what are you going to do? They don't have physical damage, so when someone gets glimmered, it's actually a really big deal.
Yeah, aggressive options for WanZhou are limited, to say the least. With Small Tooth Thunder, 2,000 gold in the bank after his BKB was done. LT still sitting near him.
You got Mask of Madness. Come on.
Well, the bat.
Yeah. That or Yules.
Yeah, Yules wouldn't be too bad. Send the clock into there or something like that.
Just a blink.
Or even the Tinker. You know, cancel out that TP, stop his blink back. Xin-Q, Bloodstone done there. There's that secondary Soul Ring ready for him.
Yeah, he's going to keep trying to farm. He's actually doing a pretty good job in terms of just staying relevant with his net worth, but it just feels like it's not really... Okay, do you ever want to port out?
Nope, he's scared. Look, he's even TPing to his tier 3. That's how scared he is. Don't know exactly where EP are, but they're all getting ready around that Roche pit because the big man has respawned, waiting for them to come and take him. Bad Rider is on the front lines. Firefly looking for the jump onto someone. He's going to go here into the jungle. Sayaka is there. The Rocket Flare's not actually going to scat anyone out. Oh, he jumps and Zex Bingo. Just out of range, 4 steps away. That's more of a, you know, I'm going to scare you. I don't really want to go in here. But they force WanZhou back a little bit because of that threat of EP grouping up into their own jungle. And Old Chicken actually goes in here. No Drow, no Venge. But they're still going to take it down relatively quickly. There we go. There's the Venge Medallion. Ice Blast will fly across, but 3 heroes mid for WanZhou, 2 up at the top rune spot. There's no real way to enter this pit. So, Fan, with Aegis Immortal, he's got that Chrysalis as well. Heading into Daedalus, he just wants raw damage output.
I think it's siege time for EP. Oh, well, it doesn't have to be siege time, but I think this is like a really good timing for them. They have the Aegis. Tinker is still not dealing enough damage. He has a Dagon 5, I do believe, but that's kind of all their damage output, and they do have Glimmer Cape against it, and of course, just a lot of armor in general in the Drow from all the agility. They just put on the Photic Shield on him if they want. They keep the swap behind. He should be able to fairly easily go and go for this. If they had a pipe, this would be a lot easier, so they could make sure the creep wave stays alive against these 15 marches, but they might actually have found the timing here. Tinker's back getting mana, and they managed to get in. This is a really big deal.
You're looking for the vision for Bat. His Firefly's done those. Lincoln just popped an Old Chicken. Ice Blast does hit 3 for once. AP's positioning not perfect. Hook shot. Does that land on a creep? It misses. Glimpse back onto Fan. Trapped in the kinetic field, but followed through as he's still on, what, 2,000 HP? 1,700. No Dagons, no rockets or lasers going to get through that. And the heal from Le. You know, even though they've got the rocket spam, it's kind of tickling the Wind Ranger and the Drow. But if it hits the Venge, you just heal her back up. Shield yourself. Miscoil across. Tier 3 has fallen. Sayaka looking for the play. Goes in. Static Storm connecting field. No, back and forth. He's thinking about it. There we go. On to 2, but they all get out. 4 staff away. The Batrider with that BKB. Zex Bingo is caught. Fan still Aegis the Immortal. If you're focusing Fan, you've still got to get through a second life. Now the rest of his team just rips them apart. WanZhou lose 2. Tinker trying to get back in here, but 3 shot. The Glimmer Cape just saves the Disruptor as Fan focuses on the racks. 1 objective taken, 1 lane gone. Time to back up, and that's all EP wanted.
Yeah,
Use Aegis, get racks.
They can wait for the next Aegis and do the same again in the top lane or mid lane probably. Drow's going to have Daedalus now. I don't know if there were any other big items that come up here. They still have the cheese and no chicken, so maybe they actually give that to Drow and try another lane. That's not out of the question. Should probably have to drop the Morbid Mask to do that, but I think that's actually completely fine. If she buys the Daedalus right now, that tower is going to fall really quickly. All the damage they have. There's so much gold on 3 of the heroes actually here. Batrider 4.2k, 4.6 on the Windranger. Might see something picked up by her as well. I'm thinking...
Damage for Windranger like a Hex for the Bat?
She could get a Daedalus as well. I feel like they would benefit from auras. Like, do they still not have a Vlad's AC or anything? No.
Nope. The Abaddon picked up a Yule, so he goes for Boot to Travel on the Bat, so a little more mobility. No Mask of Madness, no Hex.
I actually think the Venge should get a Vlad's. She went for a Blink, which is cute, but I don't feel like they've needed it this game. So, well, they haven't needed the Vlad's either, so...
True.
You know, they could maybe get almost anything at this point with a 20k lead, but...
Did Drow just disassemble S and Y to get a Manta? Did she keep the sand?
It's good.
Or did she sell it? She keeps it.
She's going to sell it, I think. Just waiting for it to go back.
Oh, there's Demon Edge for that Windranger, so MKB or Daedalus? Or Rapier? Yeah, let's go for the Rapier.
That's the Daedalus for Drow.
The thing is, if you give the Rapier away, BKB, Batrider catches Zex Bingo. The roar, though, onto the Bat does hold him in place. Good Static Storm. Abaddon trapped in the kinetic field, but Glimmer Cape onto him will allow him to escape just a tiny bit. Jin-Q again has gone aggressive and gets caught out. Blinks forward into the middle of 3. And the way this Drow Ranger is throwing those arrows around, the swap, the blink, the Beastmaster, back and forth. But it looks like he'll get slowed down by the sticky napalm and caught. Fan, no, Jin-Q re-enters the fight. Did he buy back? Looks like he did. And now Dagon spam out. The Bat still tanking through it all. The blink forward. YCYK does get that final right click in there. The Abaddon not in time to get Miscoil or Shield. Now needs to kind of turn around and get one more right click. Denied by a neutral creep. Lur didn't want to steal it from his carry.
I think he might have a cooldown in Miscoil. I think he used it before, but...
He could have hit him. Could have punched him with a sword.
Yeah, maybe. I guess he thought it was pretty unlikely he was going to manage to die to that small camp, but he timed it right.
2 Drow illusions, slowing him down with the Scotty. You know, I don't expect him to just die. So, Fan, Old Chicken, the Drow and Windranger. Best of buddies up on the top lane. Even though they were the same person.
I don't know if Tinker can...
Oh, no damage.
They're going to buy back Beast. All right, that's probably good enough for EP for now. They're currently 3 on 5, so...
Abaddon, Jin-Q looking for the go. Hookshot does land on the Abaddon. He's got his ultimate. Do they turn and fight here? EP Fan does want to try and get the Gust out, but I think they just give up this kill on Abaddon. There's no reason to put your 2 carries in danger for... Oh, it's a gem. It's a gem on the Abaddon. But still, Roast actually goes through here. Tinker looking to TP in, maybe. Fan is caught, but where's the Tinker? In the backlines, hookshot now. In from Zex Bingo, catches Fan in the cogs, and the Drow Ranger turns to fight, but her HP is slowly being whittled away. Zex Bingo double kill as Jin-Q, glimmered, runs. Old Chicken on the retreat. Where's the Batrider? Looking for the Regoose? No, another hookshot. Where's the cogs? As Ice Blast does land onto 2. The Firefly, but this is just full retreat mode. Abaddon buys back, so does the Drow. They want to try and turn this fight.
Oh, Tinker just poured in. If he dies now, that's almost game, I think.
Good Glimmer Cape, though. Keeps him back. The Batrider's still on the chase.
He's in a hell of a lot of trouble here.
He can't blink. He can't run. He can't hide. Old Chicken's looking for this. Tinker gets a kill and suicides. No.
Oh, yeah, he has Bloodstone, so he's actually going to be okay. The death timer isn't long enough. That's okay for TongFu, I guess. They forced a buyback from Drow, buyback from Abaddon. They got a lot out of that, actually. More than I thought they did.
Their tier 4s are being hammered by creeps.
Cheese got used. That's okay.
It's not that bad. 1 lonely catapult, but a 20k lead for EP. And the way that fight went, it didn't seem like they were that far ahead. Just one by one, it kind of felt, okay, Abaddon dies, the rest of your heroes get out. But Aghanim's on Clockwork. He got, 3 or 4 hookshots in a row there that were massive, and GG is called. Surely they've got another fight in them. Clockwork just jumps in, but I don't know. Tinker respawning in 10 seconds. That's
Okay.
interesting.
I actually, they kind of just want to fight. I think they don't realize how much gold they gain there. Okay, that was the least expected GG for me I've seen so far. I think that was really
I thought
strange.
maybe one more fight if you lose that call GG, but expecting maybe to lose at least another lane of racks there and maybe
there was
tier
10
fours, but 10
seconds on a
seconds for the
5-on-5. They forced a buyback from Drow and Abaddon. If they would have somehow killed Drow, they could have maybe got some really big objective out of that.
But Drow Strat from EP, they've definitely got the weaknesses. WanZhou, they went for a lot of individual skill. The execution was there a lot of the time, but they got a little bit too ballsy sometimes with the Tinker, throwing away a couple of deaths here and there, but still a good showing from them.
Yeah, but I think this is the end of TongFu, right?
If they draw here, they can't go through.
If they get a draw, they have 3 points, and then they get another 3 if they win. But EP already have 7, and so do eHome.
Okay.
I believe. So they're actually out, unfortunately for them. Of course, they will be playing the next match, but that's also why. Like, why do you GG that? You actually have to win this 2-0 to have a chance in the tournament. You play that to the end, right? That's really, really strange for me.
And also when you sort of think about some teams, just leave the game going, think about next game. Like, what do we do better next game?
Yeah, but there's no advantage if you can't qualify anyway with a loss in this game.
That's what I mean. Why call GG when you could spend the 30 seconds, a minute or something? Even if you think you're losing, if you think you should call GG, you've got time to strategize for the next game. But yeah, there's the group stages, guys. eHome 3-2-0-1 EP, 2 wins and 0 losses for eHome, 2 wins and 1 loss for EP.
So they're already guaranteed 7 points. If Pacemaker win the next game, they have 9. And then it's up to eHome. Then eHome have to win 2-0 to finish first in Group A. This is actually the big story of that group, is that eHome are under pressure in their last series. They have to win 2-0. A second place is kind of a big deal. That means you start in the lower bracket instead of in the upper bracket of the playoffs. So if this series goes 2-0 to Energy Pacemaker, which I imagine it will now, I think TongFu don't really have much to play for anymore.
That seemed like their sort of secret strat, like last chance.
Yeah.
We've got to do this, but we'll see in game number 2, guys. I'm Durka, joining me Sin. We'll be back in a couple of minutes after this short break.